temos que interromper a qualquer momento, porque tem o horário da transmissão que é ao vivo, e me parece que já está acontecendo, maestro. É um momento super importante para todos nós, e acredito que já está acontecendo, dentro de poucos segundos, o anúncio da chancela Uberaba Geoparque, terra de gigantes.
As well as all the GBS team for their commitment. I thank the interpreters, translators, the screen typists, the document control team, the room clerks, and the technicians without whom all of this would not have been possible. And my final special thanks go to my special FA team, the Secretary of the FA Commission, Mr. Shashank Shekhar, and the team comprising of Juan Frias Velati, Mrs. Natasha Lazic, Mrs. Soteri Lim, Mrs. Raul Samadov, and Mr. Hector Rodriguez Antunes. Thank you wholeheartedly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Chair of the FA Commission, and I really wish, on behalf of the board, to thank Ambassadors Plasat, Morinova, and Ambassador Stelino for co-chairing the deliberation of the Joint Commission, and thank them for their leadership in doing so. I now would like us to move to the adoption of the whole set of decisions contained in document 219 and 42. If the member of the board wishes a specific decision adopted separately, please read. I have two requests for the floor.
Duas perguntas, acho que eles estão numa fase de questionamento.
My question now is that, do you have any comments, or do you want the decision to be adopted separately?
Sobre comentários e as decisões a serem divulgadas.
Please take the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to draw the attention of the board on the fact that the French version of the decision adopted under item 4 on the execution of the program contains a number of inaccuracies, among which I can quote in paragraph 8, the verb allow has been translated by autorise, and it should be permet. And also, in English, we speak about external auditors in plural, which has been translated by la commissaire au compte, au singulier, in paragraph 7, 8, 11, and 12. So having been one of the coordinators of the working group to find a consensus on the language of this decision, I took the floor also in the Joint Commission to underscore that the English version is the original. So I want to ask you, Madam Chair, how can we proceed? Do we need to consider this separately, or you can take care of the translation otherwise? Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Ambassador, for these remarks. I would rather we do not adopt the decision separately, because we have been alerted about this. It's a problem with the translators. We have verified already what was adopted in the Commission, and it is permis et non autorise, and the external auditors were never mentioned, is in the plural. These corrections will be made, so no need to adopt the decision separately. Thank you. Mr. Ambassador Roman, any comments or a decision to be taken?
No, it is a comment regarding the oral report for the EX4.
Excuse me, then I'll interrupt you. If it has nothing to do with this decision, I'd rather adopt the decision and give you the floor immediately after. Would you mind? Thank you. Thank you for your understanding. Grenada, same thing?
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. I have the same comments as Albania for the translation concerning the item 18. It was negotiated in English mainly, and there is some difference in the French translation. In particular, in paragraph 7, to address and implement these recommendations, it is translated les coopération. There is a slight difference in the understanding of this, and if possible, to take into consideration the English version. Thank you.
Thank you. These are the same kind of translation issues. I'm told that here again the English is the original, so these changes will be done. No need to take any decision on the side. Yes?
Thank you, just some clarity on item 37. Just paragraph 3 regarding the resolution. It was 52/2/14/1998. Over here we see it's 52/2/14/1997. I just wanted to check if this is correct.
Just give us a second. Thank you.
Vivo, direto de Paris, aguardando aquele momento especial.
I'm told that after verification that the date is correct as it is in the text. And now could I please, with taking into account all these translation issues, could we adopt all the decisions of the Joint Commission as a whole? I see no objection. Request for the floor from Oman. Mr. Ambassador.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and thanks also to the Joint Commission Chair also. Regarding the X4 discussion and the expression I'm using in the oral report, from the beginning of the discussion until the end we are talking about deficit. Most of the people talk about deficit, but in the oral report we haven't heard a single word of deficit, and therefore I think we need to express that in the oral report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. I now give the floor to the Ambassador of Turkey.
Thank you, Madam Chair, President of the General Conference, Deputy Director General, and distinguished delegates. This has been a particularly dense but also very fruitful session of the Executive Board. I think one of the most important takeaways we have learned from this Executive Board is this. It is amazing what we can achieve with consensus. It is amazing how we can build consensus. It is impossible for all of us to agree on everything, but with a little understanding and skill, we are able to come to agreements about what is acceptable to us and how far we can take this institution. However, for us to be able to do this effectively, we must have transparency and a timely sharing of documents beforehand so that we can have a healthy discussion. We must not be shy of discussion. Debate is healthy. It is what keeps us aware of each other's sensibilities. It is what makes us, as UNESCO, strong. And for debate to be effective, all documents, all relevant documents must be published within the statutory deadlines before the start of the Executive Board. Additionally, problems as well as action actions must be shared in a timely manner so we can work to find a solution together. Let me also take this opportunity to thank all of the chairs who all did an excellent job under sometimes very trying circumstances. So again, thank you very much to all of you. We welcome UNESCO's action plan on Gaza. However, we were not content with the way in which the draft decision concerning Gaza was presented. Issues on the agenda need to be shared and discussed with member states in advance because then it will make us much better and it will make us much stronger. We are pleased that UNESCO will be reporting on all of its activities in conflict situations, including its activities in Gaza in its upcoming ceasefire. All of us in this room, that is permanent representatives of member states, as well as senior governance of the Secretariat of this institution. We are all here for a limited time. We have to ask ourselves, what kind of an institution do we want to be for our successors? One that papers over differences and tries just to save the day, or one that attempts to make a change? This fine institution, as well as the entire UN system, was built out of the ashes of a horrendous war on a global scale where unspeakable crimes against humanity were committed. This is precisely why institutions like this one were created, for the purpose of never again. Yet time after time, wars and crimes against humanity never ceased. Many years ago, when I was a student, this is what I wrote about the then ongoing war in Bosnia. How can we let it happen after going this far? We should burn all our preciously accumulated texts then, even our libraries of refined reason and international law. Maybe we should tear down our institutions that took centuries to build and go back and live in caves, if we let this happen before our eyes after coming so far. Again, about the same war, 30 years ago, I wrote a poem about the decision makers of the day. And in that poem I said, grey men battle grey words in heavy oak panels without smooth. And here we are 30 years later, as the world watches, words are spoken, and nothing happens except the endless killing of defenseless people. Human suffering is universal, regardless of time, space, race, or religion, and nothing can justify its perpetration. So let us not be the grey ones who battle the grey words. We cannot build peace in the minds of men and women if we are not clear in our minds that the perpetration of human suffering at this scale is not justified by any reason or any excuse. We cannot build peace in the minds of men and women if we blur our concepts on the right of life of every human being on this planet. Principles are the bedrock of the mandate of international institutions. If there are no more children left to teach, no more journalists left to tell us what is happening, if there is nothing left to reconstruct or rebuild, then our mandate becomes obsolete. Distinguished colleagues, we are living in a time where trust in international institutions is sadly dwindling.